Okay, this is my current setup for flying the Harrier, and I made both of these button boxes specifically for that purpose. The boxes are made out of foam board, which is very easy to work with. I got some black foam board when I was making this one, so I think I like the way this looks better. One of these days I'll actually paint the seat as well. This mark was caused by water dripping on here. I spilled a drink, so you got to be really careful not to get water on there. Best to keep the drinks out of the flight deck, really. So how does this work? Very simply, inside this box there is a card, and I've got one here. It's one of these. This is the BU0836X card made by Leo Bodnar. This one costs about £50. I'm not sure what that is in other currencies. You can get a simpler version of this called a BBI32, which just has the 32 buttons and nothing else. This one can run a few other things, such as potentiometers, so you can add axes to this for other things. And I did mock up a helicopter collective with one of these, and there is a video about that on YouTube if you want to see it. The simpler version of this can run 32 buttons and switches, or 32 inputs if you like, and that costs around £30, I think, from Leo Bodnar. I don't know what I'm going to do if he ever stops making these boards. So all I do then to make this is decide what layout I want. So this is my Harrier, so master modes, master warning radar alts, just the buttons and controls that I use most often. That's how I decide what I'm going to put on here. And everything works. Simple as that. Just push the button. I have a lot of these particular square buttons. They've got a fairly heavy spring, which I kind of like. But I've got some of these smaller ones as well, which have a much softer spring. But I like this. I do like the way they feel, but I just don't have as many of those available. I can always buy more, of course. So that's that. This switch goes left and right for the kneeboard pages. This switch is a two-position switch. So basically, it's an on switch. It's in the off position in the middle, then on, off, and on again. So that's how that works. Over here on this board, much the same. I don't think there's anything really different. For my jettison, this switch goes left and right, which emulates the rotary control as it works inside the Harrier. So how does this work inside? So all I've done is under these boxes, I've connected all of these switches to one of those boards, and I can show you a mock-up of that. I have an older one over here. This used to be a board I used for flying on VATSIM, just for basic aircraft controls. And this is what it looks like underneath. This is just a support to stop it flexing. So I've got all these bullet connectors. This makes it easy to move the board around or change the switches out if I need to, if I'm making something that's not permanent. But with these boxes, I decided that I'm probably never going to take these apart, so I didn't bother with that. So the connections work like this. I don't use the bullet connectors, and these just go into the card that I showed you. And then when you connect it with a USB, it's just normal USB connector. Let's pop that out of there. So it's this style of connector that goes into the card. They don't come with the card, so you need to buy one. Normal USB. And then when you go into DCS World, you just program it the same as you would a joystick. Exactly the same. You go to each control, so you go to the master modes for the Harrier, you select the nav, and you scroll across to find the card, the relevant controller, the same as you would with a joystick or a throttle, and then you just push the button, and that's it. It's simple as that. So it's not quite plug and play, but it's as plug and play as any other joystick or throttle controller, and that's it. Now the foam board is pretty strong. I think for an ICP it'll work quite well, but you'll probably want it mounted vertically in some way, and we can talk about how that might work. I hope this video is helpful. Let me know if you'd like to know more.